Alrighty, guys, what is up? It's Data Daddy here tonight, and we're going to go for part 2 in our data science and machine learning build series. And this is going to be the actual build. So it's going to be a longer video, and we're going to go through every part of the build. And it should kind of get you going as far as everything you need to know about how to put this build together and make it all happen. So next part, we're going to go to a cool intro, and then we're going to get into build. Alright, you guys, just wanted to quickly show all the components laid out in all of their glory before we start this build. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so we're going to start with the RAM. I'm going to put that in slots 2 and 4, it looks like. Let's go ahead and open all these up. Okay, so 2. Let's make sure they're facing the right way. Okay. Oh, yeah. Had it the right way the first time. Alright, cool. So that's in there. And let's put one in 4. If I can ever get it in the slot. Excellent. Okay, so got a RAM installed. Now let's put in our drive. Take the heatsink off. There we go. All right. It's got this nice Kingston 2 terabyte drive here. Put that guy in. Oh, we gotta take that screw all the way out. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. All right, let's put this guy back on. Boom. Okay. Excellent. All right, cool. And then now we're going to align this guy, this little triangle here. We're going to match that with triangle on this corner of the socket. Drop that guy right in. Oh, hold on. Huh. I gotta take the switch up. There we go. Now we're gonna try that again. There we go. Now we should be able to close it up. Excellent. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the cooler. Alrighty guys, so now it's time to install the CPU cooler. The Ryzen 550 does come with its own stock cooler. That was on the table earlier, but I am choosing to replace it with a aftermarket cooler from Be Quiet, the Pure Rock 2, effective up to 150 watts TDP. So that should be more than enough for what we need. I'm only reason I'm using the aftermarket cooler here is I may at some point want to overclock this, so you know, just allowing this is probably overkill, but you know, it was $40 and within the budget, so I figured I would go ahead and install it while, you know, we were building. All right, so let's get into this. And the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna get this set up, and we're gonna take the stock brackets off. Let's go ahead and point this guy down. Get it set. All right, cool. So yeah, we're gonna take these stock brackets off. Put this in our little screw tray over here. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right. Sometimes you have to be a little forceful with this. Okay, cool. So now I've got those out of the way. We want to install this, the bracket specifically for the AMD 4 socket. But that may be different. This actually works with Intel as well, so it depends on, you know, if you're using this cooler or a different cooler, just make sure you're installing the right bracket for whatever particular processor socket it is that you have. Oh, you know what? I think I accidentally put some of these on backwards. Yeah, they're supposed to fit over there like that. Okay. Yep, so I did install these incorrectly. There we go. This is supposed to fit on like that. So basically, I flipped the brackets. There's a cutout in the bottom of the bracket that's supposed to fit over the notch, and I installed it backwards. So fix that really quick. This is what happens when it's your first time working with something like this. There we go. So flip these guys over. See, there's a cutout, and this side is larger, or smaller rather. All right, last one here. everything's nice and snug now. All right, so next part. If I can ever get this off. We're taking this protective coating off, or protective plastic off of the bottom here. There we go. And they've already pre-installed thermal paste for us. So that was nice. And so this is gonna sit here, and this little bracket is gonna come over the top of it, and that's what's gonna hold everything together. So we're gonna go ahead and, in fact, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. There we go. This way I know where it's supposed to actually line up. All right, cool. So that's on. Now let's go ahead and screw everything down. Do that without wiping the paste everywhere. That'd be super cool. Oh, I think I over tightened that one. But nonetheless, and sorry you guys can't see the other side, but it's the same thing. We're just screwing down this. Yep, I've way overdone that one. So there we go. Let's screw this guy in. All right. Okay, just gonna keep screwing down both sides so that they're nice and even. All right, cool. So there we go. That's installed. Now we need to mount the fan. So I believe the fan is supposed to go on this side, and then these brackets are supposed to hold the fan in place. So I'm gonna pause the video really quick and figure out how to get this fan installed, and then I'll come right back. All right, so I've got one side of the fan figured out. So I'm gonna show you guys what's going on the second side. So basically, this bracket, this top part is gonna go into this slot, and the same thing on the bottom. And then it actually clips into a ridged area on the side. So this is actually gonna go and clip into this back part here. So it'll make more sense what I'm talking about. Well, I can show you this side. So this side, you can see it clips into those little slots in the back, or there's cutouts in the back it clips into. All right, so we're gonna install this guy. All right, let's make sure it's even. And you just want to pull back on this until it pops into place. Boom. And there we go. Fan's installed. Ugh. And looks like they gave 4 brackets, so I'm assuming that if you wanted to add more fans, you probably could. In our case, we're just gonna add 1, thinks we can be fine. All right, guys, first thing we're gonna do now is we're gonna take the fans, the stock fans out of the case. And again, you can use stock fans. I'm just choosing to use different ones because they're a little bit quieter, but that's really up to you. So my plan is just to save these, and I might use them in different builds or add them back later if I need more, need some more cooling or whatever the case is. But work fine, just not exactly what I want. Alrighty guys, so this is the Corsair 4000D Airflow mid-tower PC case. I really like the way that it looks. I just unboxed it, and this is everything that it came with. So, screws for the motherboard, washers, screws for the fans, a bunch of stuff for cable management, some extra, what looks like places to screw in the motherboard, which we'll probably need, and some extra knobs, it looks like. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna set the camera up, and we're gonna go ahead and install the motherboard. Alrighty guys, we're gonna lower the motherboard in now. Try to align everything as much as we can. Let's go ahead and feed this over. Okay, I think that's just about right. Okay, I know you guys can't see the whole thing, but I'm trying to see if we have the holes aligned correctly. Okay. Cool. Yep, I think that just did it. Excellent. Okay, so everything's aligned correctly. Now I'm gonna go ahead and screw in the screws. Also, we talked about earlier, so since this is a smaller motherboard, I had to add one of these guys under this cutout. So you may want to do the same, probably don't have to, but I added it. Also, if you'll notice, I moved the fan back to this side of the case so that it will push air, or air will flow in and be pushed out the back of the case. And then I tucked the cable in on this side. So just to give you an update of why it looks a little bit different than when you last saw it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get everything screwed in. Cool, so that's installed now. Motherboard should be good to go. So next up, we're gonna install the GPU. All right, guys. So now we're gonna install the GPU, which is an RTX 3060 with 12 gigs of RAM. Should be a pretty sweet card. I'm excited to give it a go. So I'll just take out these little grill plates here. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and give this a go. Make sure we get it in there. Get it in that slot. There we go. Okay. Excellent. I think we are in. Let's make sure we're in. Yep. Looks like we're in, guys. All right, guys. So now it's time to install the PSU. Went with a EVGA 500 bronze, just because it was cheap, good reviews, and it'll handle everything that we have in this build and more. Also, really neatly, it came with this EVGA power link for the graphics card. So basically, it plugs into the graphics card and it kind of routes power to the back end for easier and cleaner looking cable management. So we'll also see if we can use this guy a little bit later on as well. So very cool. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this guy installed. Alright, so this is the back. I'm gonna put those guys there for right now. I'm gonna slide this guy in. Take our little bucket of screws or bag of screws. All right, cool. So there we go. PSU is installed. Now, up next, we will install the fans and the EVGA power link. All right, guys. So we're gonna install the fans now, and I'm gonna use one stock fan. And then 3 of the Lian Li Unifan SL120s, which are really, really cool. These are modular, and you can actually interlock them together, like so. You can fit these knobs together in some way. Maybe go the other way. There we go. And then they become basically interlocked as one single fan, and you can run one cable for RGB, one cable for power for all 3 fans versus each individual fan. So helps the cable management, and these are really, really cool. Unfortunately, I don't know that I'm gonna be able to take advantage of this because I want to use one of these fans for lighting here, and then one here and one here, and then just have a stock fan in the middle. So cool idea. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to help me in this case, but definitely something to consider and really, really cool from Lian Li. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and install the fans. I'm not quite sure how everything works so far. Looks like there is, each of these goes to a fan. If you're not chaining them all together or connecting them all together, there's the fan controller, all the screws, power and RGB, and these little stickies to mount the controller to the case. So anyway, I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work yet, but I'm going to start by putting the fans in the case, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, now I'm gonna do something kind of weird. I'm gonna put this guy right here. Just because I don't really need it, but this way we get full airflow through the front of the case. If it's super loud, I'll remove it. But this way I only bought 3 of the Lian fans so I can have some lighting in the back of the case as well. So we're gonna try this configuration, see how it goes. Unfortunately, this does mean that I lose the modularity or the benefit of the modularity that comes with the Lian Li fans, but you know. Alright guys, so we finished up installing the fans, and I just finished routing all the cabling for those fans. So as you can see, we've got 3 in the front, 1 in the back, and this is a Lian Li stock that came with the case, and then 1 Lian Li fan in the back. And I'm gonna flip this case around. Just bear with me one moment. Okay, so each of the Lian Li lights has a power, 5-volt power connector, and an RGB plug as well. So anyway, for each of these fans, they have both coming off. So there's 3 different cords, and we have a control box. So each of these is going to go in their respective unit. So basically, one is going to have the power and the RGB, 2, 3, etc. into this control board. And then the control board also needs to get powered. So the control board is powered with SATA, or has SATA power, and just plug this guy in. It looks like right there. There we go. All right, and this is just a USB, so find a free USB header and plug that in there. So cool, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna connect everything up now on the back side here. Alright guys, so that's what it looks like so far. But keep in mind, these only plug in one way, so it should be fairly self-explanatory how to actually plug these guys in. So now all that's left is to plug in power to the control board, or to the controller. Go. Cool. All right, so power is connected. Now I need to feed this back through so you can put it onto the header. All right, so let's rotate this guy back around. So let's find a free header. All right, so that was also for the stock fan. So I just plugged that into a system fan power source. So hopefully that should work. I think that's pretty much it. Next, we're just going to connect power up to everything, and we should be pretty much done at this point. We'll put, we'll kind of consolidate the cables and then boot everything up and see if it actually works before we do the final cable management and put everything fully together. Alrighty guys, now we're going to plug in the power cabling, and we're going to start with the ATX connector. So this is a 20 plus 4 pin, so we're going to go ahead and slot the 4 pin in, and we're going to go ahead and connect this guy, if I can see what's going on. All right, cool. So that's in there nicely. Let's go ahead and pull this guy down. All right, so go ahead and connect the PCIe connector. So we are going to need all 8 pins. All right, cool. Now let's keep this pulled up like that. Okay, cool. So last thing is now we have the GPU connected. We have main power to the board. We also need to plug in power for the CPU. So it's hiding up there in the top corner. I try to feed in. So we need to come. And this is going to be a huge pain. All right, guys. Finally, I got that guy connected. That was a massive pain. So I guess be careful about your order of operations because sometimes it's hard to get to stuff. But okay, power is connected for everything on the board, the CPU, GPU. All right, guys, so as it happens, I was missing a few things. I forgot about the case headers. So we're gonna go ahead and connect all that stuff now. And I wanna start with the power. So basically this JFP1 is going to be the power button, the reset switch, and LED light connection for some of the things on the top of the case. So let's get in there really quick. But I'm gonna try my best to show you guys this. But so here we can see that's power LED, negative and positive. So this is going to allow the LED lights to actually shine. So, and then if you can look, I mean, it's really hard to see, but on the back panel there's a drawing, and it tells you, let's see if we can zoom in just a little bit. Let's see, maybe a little bit more. You can kind of see, so power positive and negative. So the top left 2 pins are what we're actually going to be plugging into, and match the polarity here. So I've got positive here. So I'm gonna go ahead and, I can't see really, so bear with me. So there we go. All right, cool. So that guy is in. Now we're gonna put the -1 in. There we go. All right, cool. So those two should be in connected. So the next thing we want to do is we want to actually connect the power switch itself. So allow the case or allow the button on top to be able to actually turn the computer on and off. So this one we don't really care about polarity, but just for the sake of completeness, if you look on the back, you should be able to see that there is an arrow. There you go, an arrow on the left side of this pen that signifies positive. So we're actually gonna need to put this in upside down, just like, let me make sure those are correct. Yes. Yes, so anyway, this should be the correct way. So we're gonna go ahead and put these guys in there. Try to be as delicate as I can so I don't mess anything up. Okay, excellent. And then finally, we don't have any HHD indicators at this moment. Ah, damn. I'm gonna unplug this, route this around. There we go. Cool. This looks a little bit neater that way, I think. Anyway, so the last one is going to be this reset switch. And similarly, polarity doesn't really matter here either. But this is going to go in the bottom, or I guess from the bottom, the right pin, go one or go 2 pins over from that, and that's where this reset switch is going to be plugged in. So there we go. That should be it for the power and reset buttons. Okay, now we're gonna come over here and we're gonna plug in audio. So it looks like this pin here is missing, so that corresponds to facing upwards when we plug it in. So I'm gonna use this hand. Sorry guys, this is kind of a pain to do while I'm filming. Okay. There we go. So that should be in there. All right. Let's see what else we got. Okay, we need to plug in our USB. I think this is Gen 3, or sorry, USB 3.0 Gen 1. And we're gonna plug this into USB 1 here. I think I had that backwards. I don't think it really matters. I think it's bidirectional. It's a flashlight. Here we go. Now I can actually see. Oh, you know what? You guys aren't even. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not even showing you guys this. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so we're trying to plug it in JUSB 1. Doesn't seem to want to go in. I don't really know why. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, apparently I was putting it. It is not bidirectional. I was just putting it in the wrong way. And let's see, this guy is gonna go in here. So this is a 19 pin connector for the USB-C. It's hard to see, but right in here is where we're plugging it into with this notch facing up. So I hope that is a little bit, you can see a little bit right there, but it's the very bottom edge of that. It's kind of a pain to get in. Especially because I can't see it. There we go. Excellent. And we're in. All right, cool. So everything on top of the case now should work. So I'll just show you guys what that looks like. So we have a reset button, audio input output, USB-C, USB 3.0 Gen 1, I believe, and then our power switch. So everything should work now. All right. Next, we're gonna power this baby on, and hopefully that works. So I will see you guys in just a second. Alrighty guys, now's the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's turn this thing on and see if it works. I think we have success. Everything seems to be working. So that's good. Next step, guys, is going to be to get it into BIOS and go ahead and put Windows on it and get this PC actually set up so we can start working with it. All right, guys, so I just created a bootable drive, a bootable flash drive for Windows 11. So I'm going to plug it in, or I just plugged it in already, and I think it's time now to power it on. There we go. Set this down, and we can go through the installation process and get Windows installed on this machine. So it should be booting up here. Just a second. There we go. And if we set everything right, it should boot directly into Windows. And there we go. Fantastic. All right, cool. So we want to install, we want English to be the language. We want English United States to be time and currency format, and keyboard input to be US. So all that's good. Install now. Okay, so I don't have a product key, or I am transferring my product key from my current machine to this new one that I'm building. So for me, I don't have one at this very moment, and I'll show you guys how to transfer it in a later video. So for right now, we're just going to select I don't have a product key. Okay, I'm going to go with Windows 11 Home because I'm not planning on using Pro. And we're going to accept the terms and conditions. Okay, so we actually need to select custom. And this is fine, drive 0. And there we go. Now it's installing. Oh, you guys can't even see that. There we go. So we're just gonna wait for this to install. And hopefully now we should boot into Windows. All right, so let's go through the Windows setup process. So is this the right country region? Yes. Is this the right keyboard layout? Yes, it is. I don't want to add one at this time. All right, I'll connect it to an Ethernet port, and we can go from there. Okay, so I just connected it to I just connected to the internet via an Ethernet cable, or I guess the network via the Ethernet cable, and it looks like it found it and it is connected. So that's good. So we're gonna go next. Here we go. And hit next. All right, cool. Let me look up my Microsoft information really quick. And then my password. So I don't really want to do this. Yeah. I create a pin. Okay, so get location-based experiences. Yes. Find my device. Yes. So this is all preferential, and you can choose here what you want. And I don't want Microsoft to have any of my data. So that's just my personal preference, but feel free to allow them to access your data. And you can always change this later if you decide that you want them to have access to that. I don't want any of this. I also don't have an Android phone, so. Skip. So it looks like we're almost done. Alright guys, it looks like we are finally successfully installed. Alrighty guys, now the only thing left to do is do our cable management. I waited until now because I wanted to make sure everything works before I started making stuff more permanent. But now that I know that it works, we were able to get Windows successfully installed and all that good stuff, it's time to start cleaning everything up. So I'm gonna just work on the front side. There's a couple things I want to tidy up here. Then I'm hopping over to the back side where things are really bad and start getting things cleaned up there as well. All right, cool. So that makes those a little bit nicer. So now I think we're gonna go head over to the back side and there we go. Tuck that guy in. Okay, I think this front side looks fine. I'll come back and snip those zip ties here in a second. So we'll go head over to the back side now. Okay, now we're gonna try to clean the back side up. And it's quite messy. So I'm gonna figure out how I want to handle all of this stuff first, unfortunately. All right, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. I think that looks really good. Only thing left now is just to cut all of these ends off and put the case cover or the side panels back on and do a couple other little finishing touches, like put these antennas on. That'll pretty much be it. So just to show a little bit closer what all of this looks like. So I think that looks pretty nice. Alrighty guys, and here is the finished product. Pretty sweet looking PC if you ask me. Alrighty guys, here we go. We're gonna turn it on, see what it looks like. Oh wow, that's nice. That's really nice. Wish my phone quality is a little bit better. You guys can see a little bit better how good this looks. Wow. That looks so nice. think this turned out excellently. Alrighty, guys, that about does it for today. If you like the content, please consider giving me a like and a subscribe so I can continue to grow and produce better and better content for you. And if you really like the content, you might even consider buying me a coffee, and the information for how to do that will be in the video description. If none of that sounds good, at least just give me some feedback in the comments. Let me know how I'm doing, if anything's unclear, or if there are things that I can improve on. But above all, guys, thanks again. Appreciate you watching, and have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.